back, folks, or welcome for those that are here for the first time. I hope I can do this thing justice. Okay, I'm going to do the same on this side as I did on that side, which is on these little black lines we cut right through. One thing I noticed when I was editing the last video is that you can't see where I'm going. There you go. Let me just take you back out on the zoom. Sorry about that, guys. I set the zoom up before I start filming. And then when I'm filming, I don't have the ability to see what I'm filming until I go back and look at the camera. So I apologise for that. So let me have a look at this back handrail and I'll come back to you. Not as good as it actually is. It looks okay. I just had a quick look at it there. I remember the problems I had with it when I did it. So all I'm doing here is touching up these edges. I've got some up some. Just let that dry a little bit and then we'll put the handrail on. I see a little bit over here that I missed. That's it, try to paint it back. So once this handrail is on, my next job is to make, again, 13 of those little knobs. Can't call them anything else, it's what they are. To go on that to go on this front piece, which I've painted the bottom. That's where that will go in there, like that, with 13 knobs on. There's the rail for the back. Let's see if I can put this in better on this side than I did on the other. Once you get an angle on it, you've got to try and get everything lined up before you push it down. If I had 10 hands, it might be better. I only have 2. You see that went in relatively easily, so sounds like our bin men have decided to grace us with their presence. shall probably touch that up with a little bit of paint there wrong. But that's the back railing. Okay, I'm going to move you over to the other bench now while I make the knobs. Start off with a fresh piece of paper. Got to cut 14 of these out and then make 13 of them to fit in here. I'm going to put it on high speed and let you listen to some music again. Guys, I skipped over showing you this installation. It's just the same as that side. I've now matched up the fronts, so that's the top rails installed. The next bit is to make up some pin rails for up the back here, so I'll dig them out and I'll go back to the bench with you. Okay, onto these big bits. I'm going to cut out these 4 pieces here, and you can see they've got the pin holes already made in them. So let me cut them out, I'll come back to you. While I'm waiting for the, put some light on the subject, while I'm waiting for the paint to dry and those things, I thought I'd do the next stage, which is to scrape out some pieces of this bowl. It's 2x5, was that what we used for the hull? Anyway, we're going to scrape out what you actually do is scrape it out the channel. Don't need a whole strip, half a strip's going to be enough. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that it's actually making a channel in the wood. It doesn't have to be very deep. I'll show you what it's for in a second. But you know, when you get your scraper down to the wood, down to the table, that it's, I don't know if you can see there that the scraper is right down on either side, and you're left with a nice neat cut in the middle. It doesn't matter which way around you scrape on. But it does seem that when you scrape the other direction, it seems to take more out. But there you go. That's what we want. Now, we only need 3 little pieces, and what this is the path for those wires at the back end of the ship. Do you remember that? Let's see if I can show you where they are. I'll be right back there. Okay, there's where these wires go up the back wall, up here. Here. They're going to fit in the groove of that piece of wood that I just cut. There'll be a bit there, and a bit there. So it's not very much. Little bits. And then they'll get painted to match this back plate as well. Okay, see you in a minute. Last of the action for today. You can see I've put the 3 pieces in at the back. Just wait for the camera. Now then. So it should really be quite easy to put in. But because I've got glue all over my hands, they want to stick to me more than they want to stick to the wood. That's where that goes. Same on the other side for the small one. Some of them are quite easy to put in. I'll lift you down and let you see them close up. There you go, guys, pin rails in position at the tail end of the ship. All I can say is there's going to be some rigging. The number of pin rails that I put in. I know that they give you 270 pins, you don't use all 270, but if you remember that lot, and that lot, and that lot, and that lot, there's a lot of pin rails. So it's going to be a lot. I guess there's going to be more on the back. I don't know. I see I'm going to have to put a little bit of paint in the back end there. I think the sawdust has got to it. And I cut this one a bit short. Oh, I just noticed that. This one. Okay. I'll tidy these up and make them right. And tomorrow we start work at this end. That'll be fun. Okay, see you in a few seconds. Morning guys. Okay, I'm going to cut all these bits out, 168, 169, 170, 171 and 172. I love the way they give you two cut marks. I guess that's, you have to angle it at those points. That's what I'm guessing, but I think I'm right. See it all over the place. But I'll cut them out of the sheet first. Okay, I'll come back to you when they're all cut out. Okay, next phase guys is these 5 pieces which go in the front of the bow. You can see the black lines on them. That's, you're going to sand or you're going to shape later. I guess from this corner to here is going to be shaped like that. And I guess the whole thing's got to be shaped. Where that goes up, this one goes down, I suppose. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, give that a little bit of time to dry out, and I'll come back to you. Guys, okay, I've had a look at the pictorial for this part. Yes, they do get angled at the bottom, so I guess that's why we've got a little bit plain here as well. Okay, this is the first one. Yeah, it starts there. That's the angle. Kind of makes sense now. To make sure they're not stuck to the paper. Yeah, we're all right. So they get put in their sequence, and then there's some net pieces. It's not. It's imitates mesh 173, which is that lattice work. I shall have to find that. Give me a second, I'll come back to you. Second, but it really only took a few seconds. So all these bits here are going to be added in to that one. Oh, I see. So this is all one big piece. But what they show on the pictorial is that across here, see if I can point it out. Across this line here, they've got a piece of wood, and likewise with these next pieces, that's one, this is the next one which goes to here, and it's also across here. It has a strip of wood which is painted in the famous dark red leather. I guess what I'm going to do is measure this, and if I measure it, I'll know what size wood I'm going to need for it. I think it's going to be one of the strips that we've used already. Try using the millimetre side, it's a lot easier. So from there to there, it's about 2 mil. Oh yeah, we've got some 2 by 1 or something like that. That'll fit in there nicely. Now these get painted a nice oak varnish colour, would you believe? So what I'm going to do is paint them, one side of them, put them back in the box. Doing an awful lot of painting today, but there you go. This one has to have a good shake up with its varnish. And then I'm going to shape these ones before I put them in the ship. So I'll come back to you when that's all done. Sanded, and now in position. You can see there's a slight shape to them, but I made sure they're all level. This one for some reason doesn't look level, but it is. I think I might take that out and put a little bit more glue on it. I've used aliphatic resin here, so I'll just take that one out and put a bit more in. You can see it's sitting a lot better. Okay, aliphatic takes a little while to go off, probably about an hour, so it just works in nicely. It's my lunchtime. See you in a few seconds. Hopefully I've got your position so you can see what's going on. I've already put this piece in. It just needs holding down a little bit with a bit of natural spring in there. Now I'm using aliphatic resin on this. I want it to stick nicely. So when I say stick nicely, I want the glue to disappear. And that's what aliphatic does. It disappears when you use it. Not when you use it, but when it dries. You would never know there's been glue in there. Except it wants to keep disappearing. Let's put a little clip in there just to help it along. And the same for the other side. Clip in here. You know you got it in the right place when the fence is all joined together. I don't think it needs the clip, to tell you the truth. When I say the fence is joined together, you see the lattice work. And this one wants to keep dropping inside. There we are. That's where it goes. Right, I'll cut the next one out. I'm doing these one at a time, it's easier. I'll come back to you when I've got these other ones in. Right guys, they're in. Doesn't look too bad, does it? Well, the aliphatic's going to take a while to set. It's stuck all the way. That's not coming off, I can assure you. So leave that like that overnight, and I'll see you in a few seconds. For me it'll be tomorrow morning. Bye for now. All working on the nose, the bow. I've just put these pieces here on. They're not showing what to use, and the best I got is 2x2, which I've cut to size, painted and put in. They don't show you them on a pictorial plan. What they do show is the forerun of this, and then afterwards when you start to put these decorated pieces on the side, you can see that these are in position. So I've just had to guess. I was going to use 1x2, but I've only got one piece of that left, and I don't know if I need that somewhere else. 2x2s I've got plenty of, so that's what I've used. Right, I've already cut out the first row of decorative pieces, which have to be bent into here. And I thought I was going to have to soak them, but they are fairly flexible plywood. It's these pieces here, and you can see it bends fairly easily. I'll just have to be careful when I'm bending it into place that I don't break it. So I'll come back to you when I'm ready to put them on. They're painted and waiting for that, painted and varnished I should say. I'm just waiting for that to dry, and I'll come back to you in a few seconds. Right, I hope I've got that in a place where you can see what I'm doing. I don't know if I've got to take a little bit off these verticals, because I have to get these in those holes there. So that that's interesting. I think I see why. There's a little line on here which I guess is to allow for the shape. Yeah, you can see if I take that off, that's going to be just about right. Okay, I'll come back to you in a second. Guys, I forgot to switch the camera on, but I've already put the first piece in its position. It did crack a little bit. It's very delicate, you just got to do it. See, I want to bend there, and what I got was a break. It's a shame. So, I want this piece to bend. So it fits in there. So what I'm going to do is, oh, no, it's come off altogether. Okay. The hazards of modelling. So, somehow got to use the second piece. Okay, this is in position. So what I'll do is I'll use the second piece to get the first one in the right position. That's going to fit in there like that. So I shall glue that in just at the top, leave the rest loose. So you're seeing this as it happens, mistakes and all, which is all part of the fun. So a little bit of activator on there. And then when I come to do the second roll, and that's in. Now, it's got to be pulled in, obviously, to position, but I'll use the second piece to help me with that. And you see it's got to be bent in. Oh. To there. I'm hoping that by the time the second piece is put in, you won't see these breaks. Hoping. This is the second piece. This doesn't have any pegs to go in, so look at the difference in the angle there. This is where we have to do a little bit of take the corner out, and then this will go around, wrap around like that. Two right angles to take it out. Yeah, we'll get there. just got to separate that bit from the hole up here. Never be defeated by a piece of wood, guys. There you go, see that's going to bend in there. There we go. That's where we want it to be. Which is good. Now then, will this fit now? Just need to take a bit out of this corner. Isn't it amazing how it all goes together? Let's see what the problem is. It's in there. It's my paint, which is the problem. There we go. Look at that, it fits like a glove. But will do by the time I finished. Right, so if I glue it to there, somewhere about where my finger is, to about there. So just so you know, I've glued on this surface and on the edges. So, in it goes. Right into the corner. Like that. That's it. Push down, push up. Give that a few seconds to set. How you end up with decorative, I don't know what you would call them, decorations. There we go, that's what we want. Now, we're going to glue this piece up to there. So, put a bit of glue on down here because the front one's going to follow it. Get enough time to work with that. Right guys, we'll let that set and we'll see how it looks. I think it's looking pretty good. It's actually 3 pieces of wood, and then you do oak, dark red leather, oak. So you end up with light, dark, light. And obviously the oak. You do the outsides, so that top surface is done. So this will be the next one. I'm not going to try and put it in with all these clips on. This goes on the outside here. You can see again, I'm just going to do this corner. Just lift a little bit. I don't want to take too much out because the wood is so thin, you can bend it quite easily. You don't have to soak it or anything. So let's let these bits set up, take a few minutes, and then I'll put this last piece on. I'll come back to you in a second. Okay guys, that a little repair doesn't seem to be too visible, does it? It's quite appealing, really. Just take a little bit more out of this corner. Just to do with that angle. Yeah, it's not too bad. Very good. Okay, now for this one, this last piece I'm going to use aliphatic resin. There's no rhyme or reason as to why I use which glue where. I always like using the aliphatic resin. I find it a very easily manipulable, making more language up now. I find it easy to work with. I get enough working time with it, and it dries clear. That makes sense. So push it down. Try and get some clips around this. I'll go along with the tool in a minute and take the excess glue out. A few more clips. That's the hard one there. So what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of soot on it just to reinforce it. Make it sticky. I've no idea if this will stay against the hull. Amazing stuff. Now, what was I going to use? Oh yes. Now I'm sure you can all see that little bit of aliphatic glue that's sitting there. It'll disappear, you watch. This is why I like to use it. Okay, that needs to set up now. I'll leave that for half an hour or so. And then we'll see how it looks. Let's see what it says on here. They got it in every language you can think of. Espanol, Italiano. Dries harder than PVA. I'm reading the English. Just got to get the stockist label off. Okay, it says, dries harder than PVA with minimal shrinkage to twice the strength, making it ideal for miniature furniture, picture frames, aero modelling and most professional woodworking, especially with hardwoods. Maximum strength in 8 to 18 hours and it's waterproof when dry. Bonds. Wood, leather, paper and the usual safety, avoid contact with your eyes. And skin. Yeah. That's funny because I get it all over my hands and I just pull it off. Okay. I'll let that set for a little while. It does set fairly quick. I would say between half an hour and an hour. I'm going to have to touch up some of the black here and there. That takes about 10 seconds to do. There's the black. A little brush. Yeah, one of the things I was most pleased about there was, I'll show you in a second. Let's just touch up this black. You see where this wood comes against this white? It's exactly where you want it to be, which means I got these in the right place. Just want to touch up a little bit up the top there. While we're doing this furniture, as I would call it, it's worth noting that some of this wood gets cut away in a minute, so I'm not too bothered about touching it all up at the moment. Yeah, you cut 2 slots in here, some, I guess the anchor supports or winches or whatever come up here at the front and this gets cut away. You'll see, we'll come to it. I'm going to do all the port side before I even look at the starboard side. Partly because that's how the pictorial representation shows it. So, for now, we'll let that set and I'll come back to you. Okay guys, that a little repair doesn't seem to be too visible, does it? It's quite appealing, really. Just take a little bit more out of this corner. Try and get some clips around this. I'll go along with the tool in a minute and take the excess glue out. A few more clips. That's the hard one there. So what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of ceramic just to reinforce it. Make it sticky. no idea if this will stay against the hull. Right guys, so I've had probably about an hour, had my cup of coffee. Wow, that's come up quite nice. You don't really see where it breaks. But I've got to see what I do with this end. I can't believe you just leave it like that. I would want to smooth it off a bit. But hey, that's looking pretty good. And what I'm going to do is just a few rough in places, but it's okay. Right, I'm going to put a bit of black paint in these slots before I carry on. Those slots, in case you don't know, when the bowsprit is added, it's tied down through here. And don't worry about that paint on there, that'll come off in a minute. Great thing about wood that's been varnished and a sharp knife is you can do that. There you go. If there's any white on the other side, I'll do that when I get to it. Okay, I'm going to dig out the next pieces. They don't have to be bent so much. They go here and then here. But it's the same sort of thing. It's varnish, paint and varnish. And I'm putting a little bit of paint on here where I rub too much off. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. Okay, back to you in a few seconds. Parts. Next three parts are 178, A, B and C, which are here. So once again, I'll just mark them up. A, and then B can go here and C can go there. Right. So I'm going to cut them out, then I'll paint them and then I'll leave them to set. And I guess the next lot under that will be 179s, which get the same treatment. There's a little bit of work to do before then. Okay. But yeah, 179 gets the same treatment. So what I could do is just varnish these up and leave them. So the top, and that's the top. Yeah. Guys, what I think I'm going to do, that's number 42. Oh, here it is. This is the optimized. Yeah, I can't do the 42 yet because the 42 goes on the edge after it's cut out. Yeah, I think I have to cut them out first. As you can probably hear, the kids are running around and the little dog next door doesn't like it. He thinks he owns the lane, but he doesn't. My cat does. It's funny how animals get possessive about territory. At night he sits up in the bedroom looks out the window, and from the window you can see anybody going into the lane. And if anybody with a dog, when they're walking a dog, if anybody with a dog goes walking in the lane, he dashes down the stairs and he's out like a shot to challenge them, to make sure they don't come in his garden under the fence. When we built the house, part of the instructions for what we can do with the land round about the house, there's all kinds of weird and wonderful regulations about how much of your piece of land you can build on, and you have to have so many trees. I can't remember if it was maximum of 2 trees or something like that. If they did put a maximum on, I can't remember. But one of the things was, when you've got a fence, there must be, I think it's 15 centimetres clearance to the ground, and it's for, quote, small animals. Now, we're next to the countryside. We're not in the centre of town, we're quite a bit out of town, and we're quite close to the countryside. We've had frogs in the garden. Supposedly we've got a hedgehog in the garden, but we've never seen it. Me and my wife have never seen it. I think that ship just fell out there. Where did that just fall out? Oh, it's out of there. It's part of the ship. Put it in the box. Yeah, we think there's a fox around. There's certainly lots of mice. The occasional rat, which we've seen, and so is the cat. The cat actually caught one and brought it back to the balcony, which is quite funny. I mean, he killed it on the balcony. Well, I say he killed it on the balcony. He nearly killed it on the balcony. He left it dying on the balcony, shall we say. It expired without any help from us. So, but it's quite funny if you watch him. He brings them back and he plays with them. Occasionally eats them in the garden, but most of the time he brings them back, plays with them, lets them go, and they run away. The kids are annoying a little dog deliberately. You can hear them. They come down and go wap wap wap. The dog reacts as you would expect any little dog to react. If it wasn't so annoying, it would be funny. Okay, I'll take the excess off here. I'm not going to shape it for fit at the moment. These ones don't get bent, so don't have to worry about that. But you've got the shape here, which is the shape of the bow. You've just got to make sure these 3 things can go inside. It's habit that I lift it off and bring it over to my lap, and I tend to work over my lap instead of doing it here in front of the board. So make sure I get the A's, the B's and the C's for the same set. I think they're probably different. No, that's different size, see? So that's I think this is the C for this set, yeah. They are different size. And it's the usual thing. If you're taking excess off, make sure you put something behind it or hold it firmly when you're filing. Otherwise, they will snap when they're so small like this. And you've seen when I did my first one how easy it is to snap it. But then hopefully you've seen how easy it is to repair it. But when the wood is very delicate like this, you have to be equally delicate. You can't go in like a bull in a china shop, which is my normal approach. Right guys, I'm going to finish off today by painting these. I'll probably put you on high speed while I'm doing that. Let's face it, who wants to watch somebody painting bits of wood? But I'll finish this week's video here, or today's video. If you like what I'm doing, like. Feel free to share, I don't mind. Just give me credit if you share it. Please. Oh, say please. If you haven't already done so, feel free to subscribe. When you subscribe, a little bell icon comes up beside the subscribe button. That bell icon is a notification. And if you click on that, you'll be told when any new video is available on my channel. Which, in my case, and I say this every time, is a Monday and a Thursday. Yep, get it right. Monday evening and Thursday evening. Okay, on the next one.